coming through. 1,000 cranking amps. That's right. Howdy guys, I'm Jason, and today we're gonna be finishing off the last of the first to-do list of things I needed to address on the Range Rover Sport here. We're gonna be replacing the battery with this Optima DH7. This big boy right here has all of the cranking amps, and if you've been around this channel for a while, you know my philosophy is Optima all of the things. I've been running the H6 in the Jeep for a little over 5 years now. Love that thing, can run my ARB fridge freezer on camping trips comfortably on a single battery setup. Got yellow tops and everything. Got the old square body on an older yellow top that I've been dragging around for a while. I have my Old Faithful on the bench for all of my bench testing and stuff over there. I got two treats in this video for you. I'm gonna show off the new D200 battery charger here. I have this thing out actually on the front of the truck right now. It's weather resistant, so I feel much more comfortable throwing that out on the driveway while I let the truck trickle charge overnight. And I am just kind of a fanatic about just every month or so, when I think about it, just put the charger on your battery, let it charge, condition, and just maintain the thing every once in a while. And I just have had such good luck. It's just a good routine to get into. Plus, because this Range Rover is a little finicky, has a lot of memory settings, a lot of things I don't want to disturb on this thing, I'm gonna try one of these little 9-volt adapter things that should actually save all those memory settings while you do your battery swap. I've never done that. We're gonna try it. It was 10 bucks. It was worth trying. The internet says it works. We're gonna see. The battery in here has an early 2021 date code on it, so it's not that old for it to be going bad. What I experienced on cold mornings was when I had the seat heaters, okay, guilty, steering wheel heater on, everything, all the heat stuff on full blast, and headlights and driving to work. I found that at the end of the day, after parking the vehicle and then coming back into getting in, it barely started at the end of that day. And so that meant that, okay, you check your alternator. Alternator was fine. This vehicle before I got it was the spare vehicle, so it sat for a long time. So the batteries take a beating when they get depleted like that, and you don't run your charger on the thing and do a conditioning every once in a while. So this thing now is not up to the task, and I have the Optima in all of my junk, so it's just something that it's my go-to. I like it. I count on this stuff. The last point I have about having a good charger is that that's what helped keep this thing on the road with this like it is. I actually, because the battery is underneath a cover in here, I went ahead and wired in the little pigtail, so that way at night I was able to just put this thing on and just keep that battery fresh. And you shouldn't have to do that, but that's what I did, and it was nice to have this thing to put into play like that. So I went ahead and pulled the cover off. I have the bracket off and out of the way, so I have all of the stuff that I need to do. All we're gonna have to do is just disconnect battery cables and do the battery swap, because I'm just guessing that this 9-volt is not gonna give you a lot of time, but hopefully enough. We're gonna find out together. All right, so the plan of attack here is that you have to find an outlet that is on. So this vehicle doesn't actually have an always on outlet. It has basically a key on, or the outlets wake up for 3 minutes once you open the door. So if you see the screen on like that, you have 3 minutes of this courtesy time where this thing is active. And a good way to check that is just to plug in a USB adapter. This one has an LED on it, so it gives you a good visual reference. So I waited it out. The light is off, and as you can see, door open, light goes back on, system will be back on for 3 minutes. So that's the window I'm gonna do the battery swap in. That's why I have it all prepped out there. All right, timer's on. Battery's in place and plugged in. Okay, I'm gonna leave this door open. It like feels like a mission impossible. We got a timer on this battery swap. Now I always do negative terminal first. Get that out of the way. Positive terminal, vent hose. Definitely love this trend of heavy batteries with to-go straps. That's nice. Minute 40, here we go. Battery going in. Positive terminal first back on, negative terminal back on after. So, we did it. We'll put our vent hose back in. Battery swap, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. Terminals are tight. Well, stepping in, the first indication is that it did not work. The date is 1/1/2009. This just shut off. Well, it was worth a try. Let's see if this, yeah, of course there's power there now. Well, this gives me an excuse to show you a very cool feature. Watch this. It's this analog clock here. What time is it? 5:23. Set. Watch this. I love that. Very fancy. All right, well, this is interesting. Even though it didn't remember the clock, it did remember all of my radio stations. Let's see if the odometer, oh, it reset the odometer. So that stuff, it reset, but it remembered radio stuff. So let's start it up. That's what you expect. So let's see if it remembered the window settings. It's like a weird mixture of some things did get remembered, the clock and the trip meter did not. So I'm gonna guess no, and no, it did not. So you have to program the one touch up in these things. And so you have to do all four. So that's a nuisance. So like the one finger down works. This is how you program this, just so you know. In case you have a Range Rover Sport, you go up, release, and then hold up for 5 seconds again, and then that will do it. I lost count, but I'm jibber jabbering long enough that it's probably good. So now let's try that. One finger down, one finger up. There you go. So we'll do that times the other 3, and I would definitely call this not a success. Okay, hold on here. Future Jason here. I have to interject on this video because I couldn't sleep last night after failing with this thing on the Rover. So what I thought to do, my analytical brain said, all right, let's try that on a vehicle that's a little bit more basic, like the Jeep. So I pulled the Jeep into the garage, and we're gonna try the exact same thing because I know there are a couple of outlets that are on all the time, and I'm wondering if that's gonna be the difference. So let's get after it and see proof of concept. So here's the lay of the land of the Jeep JK here. This is a switched on. So right now it's plugged in, and if you turn the key into the on position, you see that that is now on. You turn the key off, and that goes off. But in the Jeep, you have multiple other outlets. Say that one down inside the glove box is on all the time. That's what that red light means. And that is plugged into my Cargo Dog setup here. And I don't always keep the Cargo Dog system plugged in and have that plugged in. Sometimes I'll undo that if the Jeep's gonna sit for a while and I don't need the lights or the charging ports underneath there. Plus, there's this outlet back here that is on all the time because that's what I run my fridge on. All right, so we're gonna go put this on. We'll plug this in back here. And we'll see how long it lasts. So there, it's in place, everything seems good. Let's see and disconnect the battery. I always like to go with the negative terminal first. It's the safest one to deal with first. So we'll start there and disconnect the battery. Saw the dome lights go off. Okay, well, let's start the clock. So we'll let it sit for 2 minutes. Let's do a quick check. Yeah, dome lights don't go on. So we may be failing again, but we'll see. I just want to know. I just gotta know. All right, we're just over 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and plug the terminal back in. The battery will get back in place. Go ahead and tighten that up. And let's go check. We can undo our 9-volt back here. Ooh, is that kind of warm or am I just hallucinating? Who could be? Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if it remembered. Yeah, it remembered both A and B. Time is accurate. Huh. So it does work. It just worked. Let's see if it remembered the radio stations. Yeah, it sure did. all of the ones that I have, they're all still in there. So the little 9-volt battery does work. The key is you have to have power on all the time. So that means in the Rover, I should have turned the ignition switch accessory on to open that circuit. That's my only guess, but it just worked here. This will now live happily underneath its little cover. Well, there you go, another really easy one. This thing is just proving to be such a wonderful driver. I appreciate you guys coming along for these little ones, and hopefully somebody gets the nerve to do their own battery swap. It's pretty fun. Thank you guys so much for coming along on this, and until next time, enjoy your drive. Time to recycle this thing. I like my chargers.